We're chatting it up with Twins breakout prospect Michael Helman on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Monday, August 22nd. I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Super excited to be here with Twins breakout prospect Michael Helman. Want to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. The people have been waiting to hear from Michael. He's finally with us today. It's been a wonderful year for you, Michael. What has contributed to your success at the upper minors?
I've had a really good support system, and honestly, I'm truly blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. I have a great group of guys that I've been playing with for the past, 3-4 years, and that takes a whole lot of pressure off you when you're just trying to play the game to win, especially with the team that you enjoy being around.
So Michael, drafted out of Texas A&M in 2018 in the 11th round by the Twins, has played first. If I got all of them, let me know if I got all of them. First, second, third, center, left, and short this year. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you missed. Did you say third base in there?
Okay, so third as well. So 6 spots this year.
Or
7.
I think there's 7 in there.
So you've only not caught or pitched. Have you DH'd?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've DH'd as well.
I have not DH'd at all this year.
Okay, all right. So we're missing a couple spots, pitcher, catcher, little bit of DH, but everything else. And Michael, I'm wondering, I think Twins fans are wondering, I don't know if you know Spencer Steer, but I had him on in the winter, and I was like, Spencer, where do you like to play? Like, where do you feel most comfortable? And he's like, I don't want to lock myself into any spot. Do you have the same kind of feeling on that?
Yeah, I would say I have the same kind of feeling on that. There's definitely spots that you feel more comfortable at, or at least I feel more comfortable at, but I love being able to have the ability to just kind of move around, and wherever they need to throw me, then, they can trust me out there, and I trust myself out there, and ultimately just help the team win.
It's been a really good year for Twins fans who don't know. Michael, in 105 games, Double-A, Triple-A, hitting .272, on-base percentage at .350, slugging .459, OPS at .810, 20 doubles, 3 triples, 16 home runs. I think Twins fans have noticed, Michael, in the system, there's not a ton of right-handed bats who hit left-handed pitching. And this year, you're crushing left-handed pitching. Is that a matchup-based thing, or do you just how does that matchup look for you?
So I actually the last 2 years, I wanted to say I kind of struggled with left-handed pitching. I've never really seemed to have that problem, but I do enjoy seeing lefties because I feel like, for the most part, I don't have to worry about a lefty running one into my face. But
right,
yeah, for the most part, I take the same approach into every at bat, whether it's a lefty on the mound or righty on the mound. If you're throwing subby over the top, whatever, I know where I need to be looking for my swing or to hit balls hard. And I kind of just take that into every at bat, and I feel like it pans out more against lefties. But yeah, it's just pretty much the same approach every time.
What have they worked on with you since you came in 2018? Because I know some guys come in, they go after like contact-oriented hitters, and then they add power. What have you worked on with the Twins since being drafted?
So I have actually worked mainly with having a more vertical bat path, which my entire baseball career, I've always had a very flat bat, like just kind of get in the zone, stay in it as quick as possible or as long as possible, and see if that works. But it caused me to clip a lot of balls that I was hitting on the barrel, but I wasn't hitting them flush because my path was just so flat through it. So I'd clip them all, and obviously that results in it not going as far. And I think the whole vertical bat path aspect of it just ended up helping me flush more balls when I was hitting them on the barrel. So I think that could easily be where the where the power numbers have come from, but In all honesty, I have no clue.
Sometimes we hear like guys in AA, you might see more stuff, like top prospects have the stuff, but they don't necessarily have the command. And then you get to AAA and it's more refined, like you have those journeyman pitchers. Has that been your experience moving up a level?
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely been, a lot of guys that have had big league time, and there's a lot of guys that, they're top prospects in every other org. And it feels like typically you only get one good pitch to hit per at bat, and I've heard that for the longest time, and I'm like, there's no way there's only just one good pitch to hit. And I mean, I've found it to be pretty true, but you can obviously catch pitchers on some bad days where they're giving you 2-3 good pitches to hit per AB, and obviously guys are going to swing it a lot better on those days, but when you only get one per at bat, that's a little tough. You can't miss it.
What was it like going from Wichita to St. Paul? You're playing for Toby. You're in Minneapolis and St. Paul in the area. What has that been like for you?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I played for Toby before back in 2018 and 2019, so I've been around him for a while. He's a great manager. Same with Borrego in AA. That was awesome. And even some of the guys here, like I'd played with at some point going up through the system, and I spend spring training with these guys all the time, so it's not like it's anything new. You're just kind of rekindling those relationships with those guys that are at a different level than you, and I mean, it's awesome. I love it.
Let's get to some questions from Twins fans who are excited to hear from you. Keaton is interested in knowing about you just mentioned your teammates, so it's a good transition. Who are the best clubhouse characters and leaders you've played with in the minor leagues?
Oh gosh, we got a lot of good guys. I could start one with Jake Cave. Jake Cave was fun to be around. Obviously, he's up at the big league team now, so I don't get to see him as much, but he's been there. He knows what he's doing. You kind of just watch what he does every single day, and you're like, wow, like this guy has it figured out. Like he knows what it's like to be there. He knows what it takes to get back up there, and that's just good to see from like a baseball aspect. John Andrioli, he's my locker mate, and that guy's a character. I love him. He's one of those guys that he gets super excited when guys get sent up, because he's like, I can't wait for every single one of you to experience that. Like it's going to be the best time of your life. And like he's constantly rooting for everybody on the team, and he's like never just about himself. Obviously Mark Contreras as well.
The outfielders. It's the outfielder bond there, yeah.
It really is. He's my roommate in spring training. We played together in 2019. I've just been around him for a long time. Same with Caleb Hamilton and those guys. But yeah, they're all honestly just the best guys to be around. It's a great clubhouse, and when you get all those guys together, that I feel like that creates a really good team.
How special is it to kind of move up together too? Because like you mentioned you played with Mark, and then you guys are all the way up at Triple-A. He gets called up. Like Cave's been up multiple times the last couple of years. What is that like to see those guys go? And then how do you think about that for yourself and like your excitement to move up as well?
No, yeah, it's so exciting. I mean, I feel like I always love when guys get called up, because I'm like, you deserve that. Like you've worked your butt off. Like you've earned that opportunity. And honestly, like I don't want to see you again. Stay up there. Like do it. Just like go help the team. Go do whatever you need to do. But yeah, I can't tell you what it would be like to get called up, because obviously I haven't been there. But I can't imagine it'd be anything short of just pure awesomeness.
So it's been a great year for you, and like some guys have left or graduated the system, and recently you moved into the top 30 on MLB Pipeline. How aware are you guys of like prospect rankings? Like how dialed in are you when those things come out?
I mean, I never look at those things, to be honest. I try and stay out of it and just go into every single game and just give it 100%. Try and win a baseball game. That's because that's what it all comes down to. If you're trying to win, then your team is playing good as a whole, and there's a lot of individuals that are playing together, but they're just playing as a team.
What does your life look like outside of baseball? Gavin is curious. Where do you live? What do you eat? I guess you had a change in the middle of the season. What does your life look like outside of the field?
So I would say before games. So my wife is living with me right now. We have a dog, a golden retriever named Belle. She's awesome, but she's still sort of a puppy, so she's crazy. So I pretty much take her out in the morning, go to the bathroom. We're living in some apartments right now, kind of close to CHS. And so I'll get up, take her out, probably get a coffee or something, hang out with my wife for a little bit. And then depends on how tired I am. I either go back to sleep for a little bit, take like a nice little nap, and then have lunch and head to the field. It's kind of, I feel like I'm stuck in like a time loop of doing the same thing every day, that's just kind of how it is. But after the games, usually hang out with the wife for a little bit. She goes to bed early, and I'm still trying to wind down from the game. So I'd either hang out with some of my teammates because most of the guys are in the apartments. But yeah, I can't really tell you what I eat because whatever's at the field is what I eat. And then outside of the field, if there's snacks later on, maybe some chips and salsa or something, I'll eat that after the game. But
are you a fan of the new scheduling where you have Monday off and then you have six games in a row somewhere? And how does that look for travel?
Yeah, so I absolutely love that we play. It kind of sucks playing the same team for 6 days in a row, but at the same time, you always have that Monday off, so you kind of have a little something to look forward to. But because back in 2019 when I was playing, we'd go like 20, 25, 26 days straight of playing, and you're just like looking forward to the next off day just so you can get some time off and some time away. Because I think just having time away from the game too, just every few days or whatever, is huge just for a lot of people, mentally and physically, emotionally. But like every single Monday, we have a little crew that goes out golfing, and obviously we're all super competitive, so we take it very seriously.
We're cutting into Michael's golf game today. He just really wanted to join us, and Twins fans, we're cutting into the golf game today. So Texas A&M, what was the decision-making process to be an Aggie down there in College Station?
Honestly, it felt like home, and it felt like the right place to be. It was kind of crazy because the entire coaching staff at Texas A&M at the time had either played at Nebraska or coached at Nebraska, had something to do with Nebraska. So like I had known those guys, not personally, for years. And we actually had 3 other guys on the team that were from Nebraska, and I was really good buddies with, like played with them growing up, played against them in high school. So honestly, it felt right at home.
What were your parents like? Are your parents in Nebraska watching the streams on minor league baseball TV? And did they come down to College Station a lot, or how did that work?
Yeah. My parents made quite a few trips down to College Station, which that's like a 12-hour drive, and they're dedicated to it. They're fully bought in, and I know they love it. They love traveling, love seeing and meeting all the guys I get to play with. And when it comes to minor league baseball, they're pretty much doing the same thing. They'll travel at least on weekends or when we're close. Like this weekend we're in Des Moines, or this entire week we're in Des Moines, so they're going to come I think like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll get to see them and catch up with them. But it's always nice to see them.
What's the best and worst part of being a minor league baseball player?
Best and worst part. I mean, the best part is easily the relationships that you build with all these guys, coaches. You go so many different places, get to experience so many different things, and I mean, it's great. It's a weird life. I talk to I talk about this with my wife all the time. She's like, "Isn't it crazy? Like we're just like traveling everywhere." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." But at the same time, like, what else would you want to be doing?
Right. Playing ball.
Oh yeah, no doubt. When it comes to the worst thing, gosh, I mean, I love it, but I would say the worst thing. It's kind of a tough one, to be honest.
It's probably just taxing. I mean, even though you
Yeah,
get that day off,
yeah. I
it's
mean,
still like the long trench of the season is.
yeah, it's definitely a long season.
So how did like the playing time for you? Are you playing every single day? Like, are you moving around the lineup against a certain handedness of a pitcher? What does your playing time look like?
So right now I've pretty much been playing every day. Kind of just getting moved all around the field. Been playing a lot of second, third, and short as of recently. Been hitting leadoff for a while, which I don't mind hitting leadoff because just throw a first pitch fastball over the plate and I'm gonna swing at it. But yeah, I don't really mind where they put me in the lineup. I don't really mind where they put me on the field. I just want to help the team win.
Do you have any? Because I like try to think about myself if I was a minor leaguer, like I feel like I might be looking for avenues that I could be promoted. Like thinking about, okay, what does the major league roster look like? Are you just going day by day, or do you ever think about things like that?
I've talked about this with other guys, and like you can't ever be looking to get called up. So as soon as you start doing that, that's when things start going crazy. That's when you start putting way too much pressure on yourself. It just gets very stressful for you. Like it'll beat you down mentally, emotionally, whatever. But you just got to go into every game and just play it 100% and play it like it's your last game. And I think that's what a majority of the guys do, and it's awesome to see.
So what did your life look like in Nebraska growing up with your family?
So I'm very biased, but I personally love Nebraska, and I don't think anybody who has ever been to Nebraska that's outside of Nebraska would say the same thing. But we grew up in an apartment, like in a townhouse, had a little baseball field, park behind it, train tracks, stuff like that, and we were all. I actually have a twin brother, so we would go around just throwing the ball.
He played baseball too?
Yeah, he played baseball with me until his senior year of high school, and then he's like, I want to do something else with my life. But he's actually still trying to get into baseball too. He was the director of player development at Nebraska for the baseball team for a year, and then I actually think my head coach at A&M took his job at Nebraska. So that was.
Did you grow up a Husker fan?
I was a diehard Husker fan, and
always people from Nebraska.
And I still am, at least for football. Like I'm a diehard Nebraska football fan. They play this weekend. I'm so excited. Like
that's awesome. So not as much Husker baseball since you went to A&M.
Yeah, not. I mean, I'm definitely going to support them because the head coach there now was one of my coaches at A&M. Obviously, the head coach at A&M is now at Nebraska as well, and there's a lot of those guys that are back in Nebraska. And if my brother was going to coach there or whatever, I'm going to support him. And yeah.
Michael Helman, Twins breakout prospect this year in the system. A couple more before we let you go. What are your next steps to improve, Michael? What are you working on now? You mentioned your bat path. Is that still a work in progress? You're still just trying to do that consistently? What is your progression? How's that going?
Yeah, I feel like I've stuck with the same thing for the past 2 years, just with my routine in the cage and stuff, working with that bat path. And ultimately, I think it comes down to my swing feels great. It ultimately comes down to just timing and stuff, like what kind of pitcher you got on the mound. There's guys that throw hard, guys that throw a lot of off speed and stuff like that. And I feel like if you're on time, you're your bat path's going to be great. But I think the biggest thing I've been working on is just infield. I want to just be more consistent, be able to play around every single infield position at a high level, and I think that's what I've been working on the most.
You think shortstop's a possibility? Playing shortstop regularly?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the position I've played the least since I've been in pro ball, but I think that just takes a little more time. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable out there, but I got to tell you, like at the beginning, like it's a little nerve wracking because it's a whole different clock. You feel like you don't have the same amount of time as you do when you're at third base or second. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable there.
How much have you worked with like Palacios and other infielders while you've been up with the Saints?
A fair amount, actually. I'm always watching what he's doing because I admired his work at shortstop, and when the field, Smars, Tyler Smarslock, he's like our infield guy for the Saints, and we work with him a lot. He's constantly searching for different things that are going to help me and help Palacios. But I think just watching Palacios in general is one of the biggest helps that I can have with becoming a shortstop.
When he came up for that short stint, and he was super impressive defensively when he came up with the Twins. So super fun to watch. And Michael, you've been fun to watch, and we really appreciate you coming on. Keep doing your thing, and enjoy this week in Des Moines. Michael Helman, folks, they're going to love you. And Twins fans you're starting to get on the radar. So that's always a good thing. Michael, thank you. Enjoy your day. Are you going to go play golf now or what?
I'm absolutely going to go play some golf.
Enjoy. Thanks, Mike. We'll